Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to dive in just about 30 seconds. I'm just going to give a little bit more time for everyone to join the Zoom, get situated. If you need to grab a glass of water, this is a great time. And in just about 30 to 45 seconds, we will get started. Thank you so much. All right. Always love to give people just that one extra minute in case there's anything that you'd need to do since you finished perhaps a Zoom or a meeting right at noon Eastern or 9 a.m. for those of you joining us for the West Coast. But Shayla and I are really excited to be here. All right, why don't we go ahead and dive in? So again, hello, welcome to our Women's History Month event, kicking off March with a bang. I am Kathryn Minshew, CEO and founder of the Muse.
And I am Shayla Thurlow. I am the Vice President of People and Talent Acquisition here at the Muse. We're excited to be hosting this special event where we will be joined by key leaders, Julia Borstein, Senior Media and Tech reporter for CNBC and author of the incredible book, Women Lead, Anne Sokit, CEO, The List and founder of New Power Media, and Ola Adewu, founder of Sisters in Media. Today, we will be talking about important topics such as how we can strive to accelerate women's equality, how you can develop and promote a culture for support of women within our organizations, and also share advice on attracting, engaging, retaining women in a highly competitive labor market.
Excellent. Well, I wanted to quickly start before we dive into the content by sharing my story and talking a little bit about why I am so passionate about the work we do at the Muse and at Fairygodboss. For those of you who don't know me, I founded the Muse about 11 years ago based on my own experiences as a young woman navigating a workplace that wasn't built for me, and also my kind of passion and struggles in finding a career that I loved. I had started out growing up, my family moved to the Washington, D.C. area. I thought I was going to go into foreign service, be an ambassador, be a CIA agent. I had these big dreams. And luckily, in 2007, I had the chance to really get a taste for the reality. I was able to work at a U.S. embassy in Cyprus in the Middle East. And I discovered that the idea I had of this career path was completely different than the reality. And it made me realize that this dream that I had been working towards in my career might not actually be the best fit for my life overall. I also was fascinated by organizational culture and what types of organizations made me feel motivated and excited, what types of organizations made me feel demotivated or frustrated. After that experience, I moved to New York City, working for McKinsey & Company as a consultant, and really felt like there were so many lessons and so many unwritten rules of the workplace that weren't patently obvious to me as almost an outsider, as a young woman who was trying to navigate this very corporate environment. And so I founded the Muse in 2011, initially to help women navigate their careers and get the advice that I wished I had had. We ended up opening up the Muse to serve everyone. Today, the Muse serves 5 to 8 million people every single month, 63% women and 37% men. But when we had the chance last year to acquire Fairygodboss, a absolutely incredible community purely focused on helping women navigate their careers, it really felt like coming home. And so now today we are bringing together the Muse and Fairygodboss, two brands and communities that are very, very passionately devoted to equity in the workplace, to creating more diverse and inclusive work environments, and to helping people find that right career fit where they can be productive, satisfied, successful employees. So we are really excited to be here today and to dive in with such incredible speakers. That said, as you can see from the slide on the screen, it's not necessarily easy work, and we have a very long way to go.
While we are all working tirelessly to do our part, the World Economic Forum tracks annual progress on gender equality. And in July, they said we are still 132 years away. That feels absolutely is a startling statistic. But we're going to dive in here today and talk a little bit more about what we can do to move that.
Absolutely. And with all of the progress that still needs to happen, we've also, I think, all been seeing both some signs of progress, but also some really discouraging headlines in the news. You know, Bloomberg has written about how layoffs in big tech are disproportionately impacting a lot of diversity and inclusion jobs. The World Economic Forum is writing about how urgent the battle for gender equality is and how slow the progress is that we're making as a society. Organizations and publications from Fortune to Harvard Business Review to many, many, many others have been grappling with this question of where are we? How do we make progress? How do we do it systemically? How do we do it within organizations? How do we make progress as individuals? And, we're seeing that there's still so much to be done. Companies that once made promises to hire more underrepresented groups are cutting departments or cutting budgets meant to achieve these goals. And I think it's left a lot of us wondering, what are the actions that we can take, and what does this mean for all of us?
The U.S. economy added 223,200 jobs in December. According to the monthly economic report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, capping off a year of extraordinary growth and marking the second best year for the labor market in records that go back to 1939. Yet employers are still struggling to attract and retain women and diverse talent in particular. What we've seen over the past few years is that recruiting and retaining diverse and underrepresented talent takes more intentional effort. And it's also these groups who are more likely to experience unemployment when the economy hits a rough patch. We applaud all who are in attendance today for your steadfast commitment to embracing equality. We urge you to stay the course on this important longer-term goal.
Wonderful. Now, we're going to bring Julia on in just probably about 1 or 2 minutes and really dive into the meat of our content today. But before we do, I wanted to very quickly introduce everyone who's joined us today to Fairygodboss and to the Muse, just to share some context about what we do. So first of all, Fairygodboss. Fairygodboss is the largest online career community for women. The mission is to help women achieve their career goals. And the business originally started as an anonymous review site where women could seek out hard to find information and individual details about the employee experience of women at different organizations. Since then, and over the last several years, Fairygodboss has grown to a highly engaged, incredibly diverse community of over 17 million visitors and a one-stop shop to find career advice, company reviews, open roles, community engagement. They also work with hundreds of employers who are looking to attract, hire, retain, and influence phenomenal female talent. Now, if you go to the next slide, also very quickly proud to introduce the Muse. Shayla, I'll pass this one to you.
Okay, great, thanks. The Muse exists to help you tell a story that resonates with talent and attracts not only the best, but also the right people for your company. When you are actively and consistently care for your brand, you increase your ability to make the right hires who are successful and stay longer.
Wonderful. So as we get ready to dive in, a couple of very quick housekeeping items. We have a packed agenda today filled with incredible speakers and content. The lobby is the information hub where you can find the agenda for today. Then there's the main stage where the majority of our conversations are taking place. And then at the end of the event, we will open up a networking opportunity where you can meet some of the other folks who are passionate about the topics we are covering today and get to know each other a little bit. Also, during the event, you can ask questions using the chat function. I'm going to be kicking off each of our conversations by asking our speakers some questions that we've prepared based on their expertise, based on their backgrounds, but we really want to make this interactive, so please don't hold back. ask questions in the chat. I've left a little bit of time at the end of every session so that we can cover those questions from the audience and hear from the speakers on the topics that are most relevant and most exciting to you. So we really invite you to participate in these sessions and look forward to thoughtful conversations. I also would love to thank our event sponsors, Enterprise Holdings and ShiftKey. We deeply appreciate your partnership and commitment to our mission. It is our sponsors that help us put these events on and help ensure that we can keep them free and open to everyone. So again, very, very appreciative of their commitment and of their support. And we're looking forward to a fantastic event.